Our top focus story on the broadcast remains Captain Amarinder Singh, Punjab Chief Minister, raising a grave national security issue with the farmers' protest. He met the Union Home Minister Amit Shah. We'll talk about that in greater detail. But before that, news coming in. There'll be another round of talks between the farmers and the centre on the 5th of December. No breakthrough in this round of talks. What we are now being told is that the farmers are adamant on repealing the new laws. Now the next round of talks, which will be on the 5th of December, apparently the farmers demand a strict national law on MSP. The Agriculture Minister has assured the farmers on MSP. He's also said that concerns about the APMCs are being looked into. The Agriculture Minister insists that there is no ego involved in talking to farmers and the effort is to resolve all issues. So what happened? The talks today lasted for 8 hours. Remember, today is the 8th day of protests in the national capital. Almost 8 hours the talks lasted. What transpired? Before we go to our reporters, let's quickly listen in to the Union Agriculture Minister. Let's also listen in to representatives of the farmers.
MSP के मामले में लोग शंका की दृष्टि से देखते हैं, लेकिन मैं फिर यह कहना चाहता हूं कि MSP चल रही थी, MSP चल रही है, आने वाले कल में भी चलती रहेगी। इसकी आश्वस्ति भी हम किसान भाइयों को दिलाएंगे। और एक बात और चलाई जा रही है कि नए कानून के वजह से छोटे किसान की जो जमीन है उसको बड़े लोग हथिया लेंगे। वैसे तो एक्ट के जो प्रावधान हैं उसमें किसान को पूरी तरह सुरक्षा प्रदान की गई है। कहीं से लेकर कहीं तक कोई भी किसान की जमीन की लिखा पढ़ी नहीं कर सकता है। इस बात का प्रावधान एक्ट में ही है, लेकिन फिर भी लोगों की शंका है, तो शंका का निवारण करने के लिए सरकार तैयार है।
आज की जो मीटिंग है उसमें सरकार संशोधन को लिए की बात करने लगी है, पर हम अपनी बात पर अड़े हुए हैं कि हम इसको रद्द कराना है, वापस करवाना है। और सरकार इस बात पर भी थोड़ा सहमत हुई है, भी MSP पर भी विचार किया जाएगा। उनके कालो अपने तौर पर विचार करेंगे। परसों हमारी 1 बजे 2 बजे मीटिंग होगी।
बैठक में ये बात हुई कि हम लोग बोला कि जो तीनों बिल है वो रद्द करें तो हमारा ठीक है, कॉम्प्रोमाइज है, नहीं तो संघर्ष हमारा जारी रहेगा।
मीटिंग में कोई फैसला हुआ?
नहीं, अभी नहीं बोला, सोचेंगे
कि हम इसको लिए कोई अमेंडमेंट के लिए हम बिल्कुल नहीं मानेंगे। हम इसको पूरी तरह रद्द है जो करवाना है, तभी हम यहाँ इसको मानेंगे, नहीं बिल्कुल नहीं मानेंगे। और बिजली अमेंडमेंट जो बिल आने वाला है उस पर हम सरकार चर्चा करने के लिए तैयार हो गई है। और MSP पर भी सरकार चर्चा करने के लिए तैयार हो गई है। और जो पराली वाला कानून था उस पर भी विचार करने के लिए सरकार तैयार होगी।
I quickly want to cut across to India Today's Mosmi Singh for the latest on the story. So Mosmi, have talks moved forward? Is there an indication that there could be a breakthrough in the next round of talks on the 5th of December? What are the points of convergence and divergence?
Right, Gaurav, it's freezing cold, and remember that hundreds of farmers are protesting at the periphery of the national capital. And in this backdrop, when the meeting happened today, we are told twice or thrice, the ministers actually went out to the balcony to discuss the entire matter. The rebuttal that was given by the leaders of the farmers' unions, it clearly spelled out that there were 9 points that were the weak links in the entire bill, and the farmer leaders apparently convinced the government that the government was on a very weak wicket on these 9 points. The government apparently has thought about giving it a rethink as far as those 9 points are concerned, is what we are told by the leaders. So we will have to wait and see. But importantly, 11 a.m. is the meeting that's coming up tomorrow of the leaders with the entire leadership of this protest. And day after, they would be meeting the government again. Till then, they hope that the government would seriously think over the entire 3 farm laws. We are also told that they are not going to, buy any middle part as far as scrapping of these laws is concerned. They want a complete scrapping, and there will be no negotiation on that.
Fair enough. The question also remains if all the farmers are together or is the government talking to some more than the others. But Mosmi will continue to track that story very closely. For the moment, Mosmi Singh, many thanks. Now, amidst the farmers' protest, Captain Amarinder Singh, the Punjab Chief Minister, met the Union Home Minister Amit Shah. Of course, the Punjab government has clarified that he is not playing the role of a mediator between the farmers and the government. But he raised a very important point. Captain Amarinder Singh raised the point of national security. He sought an early resolution because he said it's not just Punjab's economy, but the country's security that's at stake.
Punjab Chief Minister Captain Amarinder Singh has sounded the alarm, seeking a quick resolution to the ongoing farmers' agitation, warning that failure to do so would have national security implications.
That is a discussion between the government and the farmers in Vigyan Bhavan. It's nothing to do with me. It is for them to resolve. I only came to see the Home Minister to reiterate our position and to also make a request to him and to our farmers, which I make to you, that we must resolve this issue soon.
Captain Amarinder held a meeting with the Union Home Minister Amit Shah, emphasizing the need for a quick solution before the issue snowballs into a major crisis that can be exploited by anti-India forces. Ravneet Singh Bittu, Congress MP from Ludhiana, in an exclusive conversation with India Today, did highlight the issue of pro-Khalistan supporters trying to exploit the farmers' movement.
नहीं, पंजाब में जब ये जाएंगे, अब यहाँ जितनी देर ये बैठेंगे, हम चाहते नहीं है अभी इस एजुकेशन को कोई चीज खराब करे, लेकिन पंजाब में जाके हम जरूर इनसे निपटेंगे। हम पहचानते नहीं इनको कौन है ये। यहाँ ठीक है, बाकी स्टेट में अगर आप इनको कुछ कहोगे तो ये और खालिस्तान की बात करते हैं।
There have been certain unscrupulous elements who have tried to exploit the agitation by displaying posters, banners and shouting pro-Khalistan and anti-India slogans. Union Minister General V.K. Singh did point out that protesters did not appear to be farmers.
जिनको कोई मतलब नहीं है, बहुत से लोग जब मैं फोटो देखता हूं तो उसमें किसान दिखाई देते नहीं है, बहुत कम किसान दिखाई देते हैं। और उसके साथ उन लोगों का हाथ है जो कमीशन खाते हैं।
A controversy had erupted with actor Deep Sidhu being accused of defending the ideology of terrorist Jarnail Singh Bhindrawale. The Punjab government has already cautioned the centre about ISI using drones to smuggle assault rifles and drones in the border belt of Punjab and Jammu and Kashmir. The apprehension is if the farmers' issue is not amicably resolved, hostile elements could exploit it.
Pakistan has been looking for an opportunity to disturb peace and tranquility in the border state for long. Several attempts to smuggle in arms and ammunition through drones have been foiled by the BSF. Word of caution by Punjab Chief Minister Captain Amarinder Singh is a timely advice the centre should look into seriously. With camera person Satyaranjan, this is Anand Patel in New Delhi for India Today.
So is there more to it than meets the eye? Is it time for India to be extremely cautious in the manner in which this issue is handled? Joining me on the broadcast is Aadil Singh Boparai, spokesperson for the Congress party. He understands the region and the issue extremely well. Jaidev Ranade is former additional secretary of the Research and Analysis Wing, someone who keeps a hawk eye on both the line of control and the line of actual control. And Iqbal Singh Lalpura represents the Bharatiya Janata Party on the broadcast. Aadil Singh Boparai, Captain Amarinder Singh is a soldier. He speaks from the heart. What do you make of his word of caution that the issue must be resolved quickly or there could be national security ramifications?
Well, Gaurav, firstly, 16 minutes back, Captain Saab's media advisor has put out a statement where Captain Saab has very categorically said that he never called the farmers a threat to national security. I think it's important that you update your story, number one. Number two, Bharatiya Janata Party, whoever disagrees with them is...
That's well understood. Annadata par koi prashna nahi utha raha hai.
Hear me out, Gaurav. I come from Punjab. I'm a son of a farmer, so it's also an emotional issue for me. I'm not here simply as a Congress party worker. So for the Bharatiya Janata Party, conspiracies galore. Can you name me a single incident over the past 6 years where they have not alleged a foreign hand or an act of treason or an act of sedition? So therefore, I think this must be rejected with all the authority at our command. Number two, there is a campaign by the Bharatiya Janata Party and their proxy.
But it's not the Bharatiya Janata Party, it's Captain Amarinder Singh.
Captain Sahab,
why it becomes extremely grave is because Captain Amarinder Singh has raised the point. Had it been Bharatiya Janata Party, I would have given you that benefit of the doubt. We are extremely concerned because it's Captain Amarinder Singh, the Chief Minister of a border state, Chief Minister of a crucial state like Punjab, sir.
Gaurav, Captain Sahab has said this in the context that 60% of our country comprises of farmers. So if the farmers of this country, and especially farmers who constitute the food bowl of this country, farmers who send their brothers and their children to the border, if they feel cheated, by the BJP thugs, and if there is growing deficit, trust deficit, it is consequently going to lead to alienation. So it is in that context that Captain Sahab has made this statement. But coming to the issue at hand, the farmers as Indian citizens are well within their right to assert their democratic right to protest. Here is a central government which, without any consultation, has thrust anti-farmer, pro-corporate laws. And I would urge you, Gaurav, please tell me what time is convenient for you.
Okay.
We must go to Singhu border. Let's meet the farmers. These are poor, ordinary, hapless farmers who are anguished, who are scared for
We've
the future.
been meeting them every day. We don't need appointments to meet them. We are meeting them every day. The fact that Captain Amarinder Singh raises this issue makes it extremely critical. But Iqbal Singh Lalpura, if there is a threat, if there's a threat to national security, what's your government doing about it? Iqbal Singh Lalpura, Captain Amarinder Singh is a soldier. He understands threat to national security. And it's not a loose political statement that he would make. What's your government doing about this?
Gaurav, I will start with first a prayer for a peaceful solution of this farmers' problem. We are well aware of this. We have all the intelligence. We are proud of our intelligence people. We know each and everything what is going on. But I would object to Mr. Boparai calling us thug. The Congress people are cheat. They are the criminal of the first order, I would say. Why is Captain Amarinder Singh threatening us? Or he is giving an information? If he knows those what Bittu is saying, that these bad elements have crept in, who opened this border? Is it not his duty to take care of people who are anti-national in his state? Number one. Please give me a minute. Our democracy is very strong and the country is strong enough to defend its unity and integrity. We are talking to our family members, those are the farmers. This is not that Congress people are only farmers.
Fair enough.
I am a farmer. I am still now sitting in a farm. I am not living in any town. I am sitting in a farmhouse. And I do the farming
but let me take this to Jaydev Ranade. National security is above politics. National security is and always should be above politics. Sir, I'm with you, but Jaydev Ranade, the BJP may call the Congress cheats, the Congress may call the BJP thug, but the problem is there a major national security issue? And as the BJP says, in your appreciation, Captain Amarinder Singh warning the centre, or as the BJP alleges, threatening the centre?
Well, I would say that Captain Amarinder Singh's comment was actually a cautionary comment, and I'm sure that there is concern in the government in Delhi about what is happening. The longer such a situation continues, the more opportunity there are for our neighbors who wish us ill to interfere. We are in a troubled neighborhood, potentially volatile neighborhood, where Pakistan is trying to apply to mount terror against us. The Chinese are mobilized along the line of actual control. This is not a good situation. And the latest information that has come about protests in New York and in Canada in sympathy with the farmers suggests to my mind not the involvement of the farmers here, but the involvement of Pakistan's ISI in staging those demonstrations. This is
extremely interesting point you raise. Is there someone who's pulling strings? Is there a puppeteer? And are some of the protests, especially those that are happening overseas in Canada, in the United States, are these puppets on a string? But Aadil Singh Boparai, it's not just Captain Amarinder Singh. The point that was raised by Ludhiana MP Ravneet Singh Bittu, he specifically raised the point about Khalistani elements trying to infiltrate a very good protest by farmers. Farmers are good, but attempts are being made to infiltrate this. Your take on that, sir? And the BJP says if Captain Amarinder Singh is aware of it, why isn't the Punjab government stopping these Khalistani elements?
60 seconds, Gaurav. The bogey of national security cannot be used as a default option to stifle and muzzle a people's movement. I think this must be, the Bharatiya Janata Party must understand this, so should the analysts. Number two, I take strong objection to what Mr. Ranade has said. There are thousands and lakhs of members of the Punjabi diaspora who are equally anguished. There may be a few odd cases. I'm not disputing that. There may be a few odd cases in foreign shores who perhaps have mischievous intentions. But to label the entire Punjabi diaspora abroad, which is anguished, to be some part of a conspiracy, I think it is taking and generalizing it, which must not be done. Number three, please understand the Bharatiya Janata Party's pattern. There was an unfortunate incident of rape and murder of a girl in UP. The Bharatiya Janata Party calls this a PFI, a foreign hand conspiracy. They label students as Tukre gang. They label civil society activists as urban naxals. They label opposition leaders as anti-nationals. This cannot be the way a democracy functions. There are genuine concerns which the farmers of this country have. This consultation should have taken before the government of India brought these laws. This is for the first time in any working democracy, that is, if we can call ourselves a working democracy any longer, where consultations are taking place after a law has been thrust. So therefore, it is incumbent on the Bharatiya Janata Party to
in
find
both these cases, had BJP raised the bogey, I will again come back to you. If I had BJP raised the issue of Khalistan or of national security, I would have given both the points to you. But both the points I respectfully submit were raised by Captain Amarinder Singh, a Congress party chief minister, and Ravneet Bittu, Congress MP from Ludhiana. That's why this becomes extremely grave and something that needs closer.
Captain Saab has said that he never said that the farmers are a threat to national security. I request you to read what Raveen Tukra said.
Nobody is saying farmers are a threat to national security.
So therefore,
I know, I'm aware of that. That's not the point. That's not the point.
Hardworking, toiling people.
That's not the point, Aadil Singh Boparai. I am simply, nobody is saying farmers are anti-national. The question is, the Chief Minister is saying there's a threat to national secsecurity. Okay, Jaidev Ranade, before I bring in the BJP spokesperson, Jaidev Ranade, the point that is being made, that the diaspora is protesting. What is the intelligence that seems to indicate, sir? Are there any inputs to suggest that ISI is doing this overseas, or people funded by ISI are doing this? And do you see a link? Are you joining the dots between what's happening in Canada, in the United States, and here, sir? Jaidev Ranade.
Gaurav, firstly, Mr. Boparai, I think trying to underline the point that he was making, either did not understand what I said or has chosen to misinterpret it. What I said was that demonstrations have taken place in New York and Canada, and that it is possible. I did not say that they themselves are involved. I said it is possible that elements like the Pakistan ISI are trying to instigate them or create trouble. There is a world of a difference between what I said and what he said. Secondly, it is not something that requires a lot of linking of dots for us to expect that the ISI would like to fish in troubled waters. And they have been doing it in the past. I'm sure they're trying to look at it and the possibility of trying to do something. They have an active representative or active presence in the United States, an active presence in Canada, and I'm sure they'd be looking for an opportunity and to see whether whether a trouble can be created or not. As far as the demonstrators are concerned here, I would like to say that I've grown up in this country and I certainly believe in democracy and the right to protest and free speech. But I would also like to point out that as far as the demonstrations have so far been peaceful, which is a very positive sign, and also that the contribution of the Sikhs to the Indian Armed Forces is out of proportion to their population. So that's a very, it's something which is laudable. And
undoubtedly, nothing but the highest regard and the highest respect, absolutely, for our farmers and for our braves. This nation owes a lot to both. But at this point of time, Iqbal Singh Lalpura, is there intelligence to suggest and to back what Captain Amarinder Singh is saying and to back what Ravneet Singh Bittu has been saying about Khalistani elements, and if so, what action has the government taken?
Gaurav ji, I would divide it into two parts. Number one, the talks with the farmers are at a very decision-making stage, and we don't want to disturb or level any kind of charges, any kind of allegation against the farming community and their organizations who are in talk with the union ministers. Number two, as far as this now, the issue has been raised of the internal security, which we have already taken care of, and this, if there is any element, he should not have passed this kind of comment to media. He should have sent all this information to the government of India, to the Home Ministry, so that they should have verified and acted properly. And
on the contrary, you should actually be grateful. We should be grateful to Captain Amarinder Singh that at least he is cautioning the country that there is a threat to national security.
I think he is shirking his responsibility, number one. Number two, he is trying to set as such a
no, what responsibility is he shirking? What responsibility is he shirking?
If he knows that this element is there, and he should take action in his state. He is the Chief Minister. He has all the rights. He has all the right. It is his duty also, rather to protect the country and state. If he is shirking his responsibility from acting against the persons whom Bittu is threatening, Shri Ravneet Singh Bittu is threatening on telephone. Okay, I know you, we will handle you, we will tackle you. Why have not you tackled them as so far? Number two, we want to talk to the farmers.
Adil Singh Boparai, you want to respond to this aspect also? At the height of the standoff at the line of actual control, when troop movement, replenishment, supplies were to move by train, the allegation is the railway tracks were blocked, and that affected, replenishment of supplies or movement of supplies, not just to the glacier, to Jammu and Kashmir and to Eastern Ladakh. The road route had to be used. Is it time that at least these, whether it's blocking highways or rail track, that should be avoided? Adil Singh Boparai?
So Gaurav, the onus is on the government of India. Whose fault is it that the farmers are protesting today? It is the arrogance of the Bharatiya Janata Party, which believes that it can ride roughshod over the democratic structure of this country. The government of India should repeal these three anti-farmer, pro-corporate laws, and the farmers will call off their agitation. You can't blame the farmers for this. The farmers are not out on a picnic. The farmers are bracing this cold weather. They're staying in tents. They're staying in tractors. Do you think it's a picnic? Yes. Does the Bharatiya Janata Party think it's a picnic? The farmers have been compelled to go to the streets. They've been traveling 600 kilometers, and it's not just a Punjab-led agitation. It's a Haryana agitation. It's a UP agitation. There are farmers from Uttarakhand, farmers from Rajasthan. So therefore, the fault lies at the doorstep of the Bharatiya Janata Party. They must believe in consultation. They must believe what is in the best interest of the farmers of this country. The farmer at Singhu border knows more about agriculture than Mr. Modi and his entire cabinet put together. And they are teaching and sermonizing us on agriculture. And if there is potential,
Jaidev Ranade, I will come back on the issue of security since it was raised by Captain Amarinder Singh. A lot of drones have been used to pump in weapons and explosives, whether in Jammu and Kashmir or in Punjab, both border states, both extremely vulnerable to Pakistan state-sponsored terror. Is there an apprehension? Is there an apprehension in the intelligence community that an effort could be made to infiltrate into an organic farmers movement and create chaos for the, and mayhem, God forbid?
Well, that is something that a hostile intelligence agency would always be on the lookout for. And if they get an opportunity, they will try and exploit it. Here, I think at the moment, from what I can see, they won't find it very easy. Because the community which is present here, which are demonstrating, the Sikh community, they are fairly, attuned. They are very conscious of issues of national security. As I pointed out earlier, many of them will either have served in the army or have relatives there. So they are conscious of these factors. Not to say that this cannot happen again. The history cannot be repeated, but I doubt if that will happen. But that doesn't mean that the Pakistanis would not try it. And as far as drones are concerned, the Pakistanis have bought a number of drones, all know from the Chinese, and they are trying to use them as to get in below radar and try and drop ammunition and guns to their minions here in India, particularly in J&K.
And that's the clear and present danger. Jaidev Ranade, I will let that be the last word on this part of the show. Adil Singh Boparai, Iqbal Singh Lalpura and Jaidev Ranade, many thanks for joining me. Punjab Chief Minister only cautioning the centre, they must move and move fast to amicably resolve this issue because of the national security ramifications at the border, at the line of control and the line of actual control, because hostile elements could try and take advantage of this situation, of course.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.